Chapter 27. We must throw away greed. The spiritual world darkens due to greed. God reigns over our spirit and flesh. If the spirit is clear, the flesh is also healthy. If, starting from the place of eating, we share the things we eat as God's love, and thankfulness, joy, and peace overflow, this flows also to the flesh. When we share the love of God as love, thanks, joy, and peace, amazing blessing arises. The inside of the spirit becomes clear. If the mind and thought become clear, sin departs. Because greed flows, starting with the inside of myself and with my family, it also flows when we go outside. Through the things we eat in the flesh, sin covers the spirit. If greed goes inside the spirit, a battle arises, and the spiritual world becomes dark. God's spiritual world becomes covered by Satan's spiritual world. That is why the church does not follow God, who is light, and the church is becoming dark. That greed comes out is Satan. It is the fruit of darkness, the thing that can govern over the spiritual world, which was darkened by greed, is God's truth. Now, in the era of love, Satan's spiritual world, darkened by greed, is driven out by God's truth. He restores the thankfulness, joy, and peace of our spirits. Throw away greed. When we see delicious food, greed enters at a moment without my knowing and takes hold of me. If I eat food as greed, it means that Satan is dragging me around. We must always be careful so that greed does not come inside. Even though very good food is presented, and perhaps I cannot eat such food, I must not harbor greed. To harbor it is itself sin. If I eat as greed, there is nothing productive about it for myself. This does not appear such that it can be seen, but appears inside the heart. Something that does not even have a shape captures me. So how frightening must this be? In the era of love, he proclaims the word and does work. If God has given us the word that tells us to throw away our greed, such word now does work. However, if greed keeps entering even after the word has fallen, this is to disobey God. If God has dispersed onto the fields of individual spirits the seed of the word that says to throw away greed, he wants to harvest from fertile soil. To harvest means that such work becomes fulfilled inside us. But if the work does not become fulfilled even though the word has fallen, the spirit becomes tangled, stony, and thorny fields, as revealed in Matthew 13:4-8. God wants to disperse and gather every day. Now that he has given us the word to throw away our greed, we will remember this word every time we sit at the table. The era of love banishes sin. As God has given us a command, he also gives us the power to cease things. Because the word is living, he even gives young children the power to change. We must throw away greed and become people who open God's work. Such sin must be uprooted inside me so that blessing comes, and we are let go by the bind of Satan. So now, in the era of love, God interferes with the things we eat. He tells us to throw away our greed, to change our disposition, which has much greed. If God touches our spirits, greed departs from inside. Our images, families, and churches become different. The works of restoration become fulfilled.